Facebook.
It's Saturday, which means this is the day that Caitlin does the intro.
Oh, hello. That's not fair.
What? It's always Saturday, right? That's how that works.
Welcome to the Another Wasted Hour stream thing.
Exactly.
We do stuff
Mm-hmm.
every night at 7-ish.
Seems reasonable.
There's two of us. I'm Caitlin. That person is Keith.
Not Caitlin.
That person is not Caitlin.
Fact.
We do this because Keith said we have to.
I'm terrible.
Craig is first in the chat.
Uh-huh.
And there's rules.
Oh, yeah? What are those?
You know.
Do I?
If you don't know the rules by now, Keith, I don't know how to help you.
I've never played.
You've never played?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you can get points in various and sundry ways.
Oh, how could I get points?
You could get a point by being the first person to say first in the chat.
Oh, did anyone do that today?
I already said that Craig did that.
Oh, that's
Were
great.
you not listening to me?
How would I do that if, for instance, I wanted to get that point? What types of things might I do?
You could subscribe and get notifications when our stream starts, so you can be the first person in the chat.
Mm-hmm. That seems good. What are some other ways that I could get points?
You could answer a question correctly.
Oh, that's ingenious.
Or you could answer the question correctly first, and you get 2 points.
That's lovely. Any other ways that we could also get points?
Well, sometimes there's bonus questions.
Bonus questions. That seems good.
You can get a point by sharing, but it has to be a unique share. Like sharing it on your own wall, you can only do once and get a point. You can do it 90 times, but you only get 1 point. Sharing to any individual friend.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you share to a friend is you tag them in our chat.
Yeah. Or you can post it on their wall.
You could post it on their wall.
If you know them well enough. Don't do it if they're not okay with it.
You could share to a group. That would be a point.
How would people on Facebook know, perhaps, if they had shared publicly?
Oh, a little widget happens right there.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Ah, very cool.
I feel like you already knew the answer to that question.
No, not at all. Has anybody already shared?
We already have shares from Emily and Craig.
Oh, that's very nice of them. That's fantastic. Man, you're killing this.
Thanks.
How many people do we have? Do you know?
Nope.
No?
We have 3 people.
That's not true.
What?
It's a
what
little
did
further
you just
over.
Point to? 8 people.
There you go.
I always wondered where you got that number from.
And what are we waiting for?
We're waiting for 10 people so we can be illegal.
Yes, that is true. And we're on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube, right?
Or you can download Keith's Ridiculous podcast. There's 100 of episodes.
100.
And it's on all of the podcast places like Stitcher and Apple Podcasts and, just any damn place you would get a podcast.
What would you do with all the points that you get from this particular show?
You mean the fake internet points
Yeah.
that are worth nothing?
Exactly.
Well, they're kind of worth something because if you accumulate the most fake internet points at the end of the week, you get a t-shirt that Keith lovingly designed in pretty good colors for a colorblind person, I'll be honest. Okay, that's creepy. Don't do that. That's not good.
All right. That is it. That's how the game is done. Septic says the podcast is good. That's fantastic. Danny said something was wrong. What? Something? And now it's working. What was not? Twitch seems not to be working, and now it's working. Okay, good. So it is. We fixed that by doing nothing at all, which is the best way to solve things. That's also how we've been solving systemic racism.
Craig says it's literally always Saturday anymore. Worst 87-day weekend ever.
That is true. Let's see. Emily was in the middle of fact-checking some people posting false shit about defacing the Lincoln Memorial.
Well, that's tacky.
Yeah, I think there was some defacing on like a wall near the Lincoln Memorial, right? It's like all the way down the steps, like basically at the reflecting pool. I think I saw that.
Well, I wasn't going to call the unique share thing the Emily rule because I thought that would be tacky. But if you want me to call it that, then I will.
The Emily rule And there's also a Karen rule. If you don't know the answer to the question, or if you do know the answer to the question but you think nobody else will get it, you are welcome to throw a Karen. You just toss Karen in the chat, the word Karen with an I.
Point of order.
Right? And it's a gamble, right? So if you throw that, you're saying you don't think anyone else is going to get it right. And if they don't, you get a point, even though you didn't know the answer. But if somebody else does get the answer correct, then you lose a point. So you have to be careful about that.
Oh, septic. I forget sometimes. The Lincoln Memorial is for Abraham Lincoln. It is a statue of him sitting in a chair looking very imposing because he's like 22 feet tall.
Yeah.
And there's the inside of the building is inscribed with Lincoln quotes.
Amy Guy has joined us.
Actually, with the Emancipation Proclamation. I think.
Yeah, you've seen it. It's pretty worldwide.
Yeah, that
famous.
one.
Yeah,
the one with the sitting. Yeah. Once I
Big
said
chair.
it was a statue of a dude sitting, he was probably like, "Oh yeah, that one."
Yeah, that one though. Yeah, beard sitting. Got it.
This is a Marvel blanket. It's got Captain America and various and sundry other people
and other folks.
Yeah. The Hulk's on here somewhere.
Yeah,
But
Emily.
This end is Captain America.
I feel you. I've been doing a bit of fact checking. I'm trying to like be really like empathetic of folks who like don't get things and kind of help walk them through stuff, and we'll see how well that goes. But I'm trying. I think it's better than just kind of shouting that they're wrong. And so my hope is that I can like say, hey, it sounds like you're a little confused about things. Let's go through this. And yeah, I think that I think their mind would change if they just had attended this week of trivia. Caitlin has told me already, and I don't disagree with her at all. It's exhausting. It is an exhausting week. And think about it. It's exhausting for us, and we're just getting trivia questions about it. We're just gathering trivia questions and doing a show about trivia about all of these atrocities. We weren't actually there for any of them. We haven't had to suffer through any of them. We don't have grandparents that were killed in them or anything like that. We're just doing a trivia show about Black history trivia and all the things that have occurred. And we're like, oh God, when is this going to be over? And hopefully soon. That's hopefully the answer. Hopefully there's like less horrific Black trivia moving forward. And I don't know, maybe this is a line in the sands of history that we can draw and say like, okay, from now on, stop being terrible. But I think it's going to take a lot more than that. But here's the thing. We're the ones that can do that, because the way democracy works is everybody gets together and makes shit happen. And that's really awesome if we put it to the right way. So
Thursday was not as bad because I tried it like it was like the theme is civil rights movement. So it's like a positive thing. Like, yay, civil rights. Woo. Fucking exhausting, because every single article you read about the civil rights movement is about how everything was so fucked up that people had to do really drastic shit about it. Like,
yeah. Danny says, by the way, it seems I did crash date night last night, which we had heard a little bit about. I was told I was unhelpful when I stuck around for 5 episodes of Golden Girls and should have apparently bowed out after the first or second one. All right.
I mean, or someone could have been a grown-up and been like, hey, is there a chance you could go somewhere else while we have a date?
That's true. Communication's always good. We have 7 people. Why do we only have 7 people?
Nobody likes us anymore.
No one likes us anymore.
Totally fine with that.
I think we've all of the racists aren't being our friends anymore. No, I don't know.
All the uncomfortable white people.
Perhaps, yeah, we did have some people who definitely left because they just wanted fun and silliness, and then we didn't have that this week. So, but good news, if you want fun and silliness, that will happen. It's going to happen next week. It's going to happen then. And so, yeah, we're seeing a lot of people coming out of quarantine, by the way. Our neighbors are having a cookout. Emily had like a happy hour kind of thing. So maybe the end is nigh on that. We'll see.
But then there's going to be a second wave that's going to kill more people and they're going to need us again.
Yeah,
So.
maybe.
You just watch, babe. You watch.
We'll be back.
They're
then.
going to be like, we don't need your stupid trivia show. And then one day when everyone has to run back into their houses because there's a second wave that's going to kill everybody, they're going to be like, hey, real quick, could you like do that stupid trivia thing again?
Craig says, my sister sent me a picture of my 6-year-old nephew with a protest sign he made after watching Sesame Street Town Hall on Racism. I have no idea what it says because he spelled it like a 6-year-old, but it's freaking adorable.
That's cute. Is that Teddy?
Septic says, how are the protests where you are? There's right where we
Sparse.
are in Reston, not a lot, but down in DC, there's a ton going on. All of 16th Street is filled up.
Manassas also has a lot.
Yeah, and so there's a lot happening. I'm curious to see the numbers. I'm very curious to see what the numbers are going to be. But just from watching Jack Coleman's feed, I wouldn't be surprised if more people are down there for this than were for the inauguration when Trump came into office.
Oh, shit.
Right. And so, I mean, that's telling, right, I think.
I'm
But
going to put you on the spot here.
I don't have those numbers, so I'm just saying if that's the case, it'll be an interesting point of order.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Nothing.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. You already answered it. It's fine.
What? If I'm just making things up or?
No.
Oh.
It just is. There was so much bullshit around the inauguration, like the photos. You know, there's like fake photos and stuff like that. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
how can you really know?
Yeah, that's a good question.
There's no one standing in a doorway with a little clicker that's calling everybody.
So there's a way that they do it. It's really interesting that the what is the park police? Is that who it is that
Probably.
I think it's the like federal park police. There's some.
They control the national monuments.
Yeah. But if you what they do is they fly over with a helicopter and they take aerial photographs, right? And then what they do is they count. They break it up into squares and they count the number of people in a square and then how many squares there are, and that's how they estimate it.
The people at the happy hour were mostly people who were at the Black Lives Matter protest together last week anyway. So if we were exposed, it already happened.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, all
That's
the
totally
people,
fair.
all the people who are right now rallying are
Wow.
exposed and stuff like that.
Our show had Septic and Depressed Lizard get together, and now they're going to go to a protest next week.
Wait, okay.
Now they're friends.
Hold, Septic. So did you not know each other before this? That's awesome. I love this. If like you and Depressed Lizard met here and now are going and protesting, that, yay, we're doing things.
I don't think they did because they discussed where they each live.
Right. I don't think that they knew each other. No, you did.
Oh,
Oh,
you
you did.
jerks.
Okay.
You jerks.
You had us all excited.
That's still amazing that you're going to a protest.
I think
this
it's
week.
great that y'all are doing
Hi,
that.
Depressed Lizard.
Hey, Depressed Lizard is here. I didn't even see him.
We
sneak
missed
in.
you.
Yeah, we were worrying about you. Emily says, hyper aware of the second wave. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to figure out what's important. And for some people, it's worth risking a second wave of this epidemic because of human rights. And some people,
Yeah.
it's worth risking that for haircuts. So it depends on which side of that line you're
For
on.
some people, it's worth risking it to stand on the steps of national monuments holding on semi-automatic weapons.
But it could go either way. I feel that it's great that people are having the opportunity to go protest what they believe in, even if I don't agree with it. But and then shout out to the people I do agree with. Either way, you should go protest if you are upset about things. That's fantastic. And if you think it is so important that it is worth your health to do that, then I think that you should do that. That's my take on it. As a rule, I don't Facebook friend people I don't know in person. I have friended people from this show because I've hung out with y'all more than anyone else over the last few months. So friends. All right. There's 7 people, but that's fine. We're just moving
Nobody
forward.
cares.
It's been too long. We're just going to question number 1.
Yeah, we are. It's already 7:15.
You know why we don't have a lot of people? Because right now they're on the streets of DC protesting.
Let's
probably.
hope.
All
Question number 1.
Question number 1.
What landmark Supreme Court decision is the origin of the separate but equal doctrine?
There we go. 60
This
seconds.
has been referenced on this show this week
It
already.
has. Yes.
Hint.
Hint. That was the hint.
That
I
was
think you're
it.
supposed to say hint before.
I'll say it whenever I goddamn want.
Hint. She'll say it whenever she wants to.
Suck on that, center.
That was the hint. All right, so let's see. We've got about 40 seconds left. Danny says, still being able to protest. I am for peaceful protest. It is also a privilege here. It's a privilege for people to be able to go out and protest and health because they don't have underlying health or disabilities. That's true. There are things I can do from home, but it's still a privilege. It is. That is true. We have not gone out and done it. Caitlin is immunocompromised, and so it's something that we can't go and risk. But, there's other ways to do that. You could start a trivia show where you talk about
A ridiculous trivia show.
Yeah, that's a thing you could do. And, you can also donate to really good causes and things like that. Debbie joined us. Hello, Debbie.
Emily says I would have gotten that earlier, but the amount of autocorrects I had to overcome was ridiculous.
Time's up. Let's go to the chat.
That's pretty funny.
All right, so let's see. We've got some good answers in here. I'm gonna watch to see when Facebook's done. It looks like mainly everybody's going with Plessy v. Ferguson.
I have a fun story about my dad.
Okay, what's your fun story?
I've sprinkled fun stories about my incredibly pleasant father
Yes.
into this week and other weeks. My dad got his first iPhone like 2.5 years ago or something. Before that, he had a flip phone. So he had to learn how to text. My dad texts in full paragraphs or just one word, nothing in between, right? So it's either, Dear Caitlin, blah, 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 please call me later, love Dad, or it's just call.
As a text. What I love about the
Right.
text is like, because for a while, didn't he say like, Dear Caitlin, it's your father.
Oh, yeah, it's your
In the
dad.
text? And we were like,
Yeah.
we know it's a text, for God's sakes.
He says that in his voicemails, too. Caitlin, it's your dad.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, so he discovered the wonderful world of autocorrect, and he called me one day. When he first got his phone, he was calling me like 4 times a week, being like, why does it do this? Or how do I do this? Or why would I need this?
Mm-hmm.
He called me and says, why does my phone keep telling me what to say?
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
He's so cute.
All right, so Plessy versus Ferguson seems to be the only actual answer that we got in. Is that correct?
Yes.
It is correct.
You may recall that Steve, Trey, Keith, and I all went to Homer Plessy's grave,
Correct.
which is in a family plot not owned by his family, owned by another family who said they would like him to be buried there in the St. Louis #1 ceremony.
Cemetery.
That one
Yep.
in New Orleans, Louisiana.
This is very cool. You know what? I think that was like a cooler grave than the one that everybody goes to, which was that like
Marie Laveau.
Marie Laveau. For me, that was kind of a cooler thing because I didn't know that he was buried there.
This is a story about how people are fucking idiots. So they tell you like, I don't know.
Wait, let's go to question number 2.
Okay,
We'll start off the timer and then you can say why people are idiots.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, question number 2.
Question number 2 is pretty straightforward. Can you name any member of the Little Rock Nine? Any one of them?
Any one of them. Do we give them extra points if they get more than one?
Yep. You
All
get
right.
a point per person.
So a Karen here would say that you don't know any of them. Nobody's able to name a single one. You'll get up to 9 points on this one if you get them. All right, full names, please. All right, so why are people idiots?
People are idiots. So I'm guessing if our tour guide was any indication of other tour guides, and she was phenomenal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing on average, when people go to the St. Louis #1 cemetery, they hear 4 times, don't put shit on the graves.
Yeah. No, that was how many we heard.
Yeah. So that's how many we heard in our tour. And still someone from our tour group, like there's a fight to get to Marie Laveau's grave. She's a voodoo priestess, very famous. And like every tour guide wants to go see it, and so you have to like orchestrate your trip. Like they all have like 7 paths they could possibly take through the cemetery to see, like, and you end up at this one grave and you have to wait your turn, and it's like in a little what was it, like a 6 foot by 6 foot area that you can stand basically to see this grave. And so a couple people go in at once and then don't take too much time and then go on your way. This woman stopped and took hairpins out of her hair and left them on the ground because Marie Laveau did hair. Because she thought, you know, what the people at St. Louis Number 1 Cemetery need to clean up? My fucking hairpins.
Yeah.
Gross.
All right, time's up, and Facebook has caught up, so we can go to the question, the answers of the question. By the way, Melissa has pointed out apparently there's a local black-owned company that does candles. Three brothers do it, and 10% of the proceeds go to DC homeless shelters.
I love candles.
You fucking love candles. You're like all about candles.
I just got candles that has a sticker on the front that says, "My last fuck. Oh, look, it's on fire."
Emily says, you know which grave sucks in New Orleans? Fucking Nicolas Cage.
It has a big ass crack in it, too.
Yeah.
What a dummy.
All right, we've got some guesses in here, and this is a tough one. This was very hard. We're all the way to Saturday, folks, so there are going to be some tough ones in here. Emily just had one guess, which is Ruby Bridges. I will say I didn't know the names of any of them, so I just knew them as a group. We have Craig with Joey Tribbiani, Ross Geller, and Rachel Green, which I believe are friends and not part of, and I think they're all white. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
They may have gone to the same school prior, but they were not. Yeah. And then Danny went with Carlotta Walls, Elizabeth Eckford, Thelma Mothershed, Melba Patillo. Is that Patillo? Terrence Roberts and Gloria Ray. Not all 9, but some good guesses in there. So did anyone get any correct?
Danny did.
Danny did. Okay. So not Ruby Bridges.
Ruby Bridges is a different case.
Different case. Okay.
She was in elementary school. She was the first child to go desegregate in elementary school.
Ah, okay. There you go. Septic says, yeah, I lost it after Friday. Hey, you know what?
Thanks
That's
for
okay.
being here.
We're growing together on some of these things.
Here are the 9. Ernest Green, who is the first African-American child to graduate from a high school in North America.
Mm-hmm.
A white high school in North America. Elizabeth Eckford, Jefferson Thomas. That's kind of fucking ironic. Anyway, Terrence Roberts, Carlotta Walls Lanier, Minnie Jean Brown, Gloria Ray Karl Mark, Thelma Mothershed, and Melba Patillo Beals.
So how many of these were correct?
2.
She had 6 guesses.
1, 2, 3. 3 were dead on correct.
Okay.
And 2 of them are first name, middle name, but no last name.
Gotcha. Points for those or not?
I'll give you 1 point for all 3 of those combined.
Okay. So 4 points total?
Yes.
All right. 4 points.
An extra point because she was the first to answer.
There you go. That was a 5-point question then.
Yeah.
That worked out really well. Yes, Craig was not correct with the Friends reference.
No.
I have heard, however, that that Friends has not aged well. I have not watched it, but apparently, if you go back and look, it is full of kind of tropes about homosexuality and race.
My mom loves Friends.
Yeah, well,
That's what It's charming.
I haven't looked at it in a while, so I can't say for one, but I've heard that it is not aged all that great.
I'll ask my mom.
Let's see. They have an amazing whiskey one. A whiskey. We probably don't want to get Caitlin a whiskey candle. I just feel like
Emily,
that's a bad
will you
idea.
private message me that link just so I don't want to lose it in the chat? Septic would like to bring back the amendment questions. Hey, Septic, there's one closest question in here, so you have a chance on that one.
Danny says, I've decided to stop writing a response on a school post about the Holocaust before I go through a rant. Were you posting on somebody else's page or something? I was channeling Keith and Caitlin on my rant.
Thanks.
Well, I think that's good. I don't know. The fact that you stopped makes me think that maybe we're a bad influence.
Craig has an important announcement.
Oh, yeah?
Deer are walking through my parking lot. Normally it's a fox.
That's not really how it's written. Could you read it the way it's written?
Deer are walking through my parking lot.
All right. Just a little distracted. Haven't seen deer since I moved into my new condo.
Yeah, I'm surprised you have deer
Oh.
right there because you're so close to other.
We should get Craig a deer
Why?
because he could have it around his condo, and then he'd see deer all the time. It would be adorable.
Oh.
You'd be like, hey, you mind if I use your restroom? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. You go in and, oh, there's a deer. And the deer would be like,
Yay.
and get out of the restroom. And then you'd be like, all right, thank you, deer. What?
You're cute.
All right.
He sang me a song before this show.
Did
just
I?
so you know.
I don't even remember that.
Oh, no?
No, what was
Really?
that?
Sang the Metallica version of a song.
Of what?
What's the name of that song?
I don't know. What was it's a Metallica song?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. All right. Let's see. Question number 3. We're at 3.
Question number
halfway.
3. Who is the author of the nonfiction book Searching for Whitopia, an improbable journey to the heart of white America?
Through the chess cage.
So this is a really fascinating book. It also, this person gave a TED Talk as well. So the idea is that there are people moving to more rural areas, and there was a spike in people moving to these areas after the year 2000 to form communities that are majority white. And so he went and sought out these white-topias and tried to like mingle in
Okay.
them.
Uh-huh.
So here's, remember how I said that doing this research is kind of exhausting? So he came across a group that were not white supremacists. They were white segregationists. It's not that they think white people are better than black people. It's just
Right.
that they don't want to live near black people.
Right. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right?
What the fuck?
Heather's joined us. Hello, Heather. Yeah, when you when you get really close but miss the point altogether, right?
Huh.
So that's a thing that we do sometimes. Sometimes white people do that. Let's go to the chat because time is up. Let's see what people have guessed. Emily has thrown a Karen. That's very... All right, here we go. Emily, I believe, won last night. She may have left before she found that out. But now she's throwing a Karen. Craig says, damn it, Karen! Because he accidentally wrote her a name on Facebook. That is Karen's name on Facebook. Get
That's
it?
funny.
Babucina Strange. Damn it, Karen!
Tanny says, I feel like that's still, that's still white supremacy. Depressed Lizard, we are not religious.
No, yeah, not particular. Danny is. She's a minister in training. All right. I would just like to live near people who are not terrible. We're pretty lucky. I think most of our neighbors are pretty
could you
reasonable.
just not suck too bad?
That's all I care about. Just don't suck too bad. We're not actually terribly good friends with any of our neighbors. Though.
Nope.
Like we wave and stuff like that, but
And like if their house were on fire, we'd help them.
oh yeah, absolutely. If they came over and they needed like a cup of sugar, done, right? No problem. But like we've never done like a cookout together or anything like that. And I don't know that I could name any of them. I used to know his name and now I've forgotten it. Who's the guy over on our left here? Do you remember?
No.
See,
I'm not good at names.
I used to know it and now I don't. But so I don't know. I don't know any of my neighbors' names. But yeah, we've got all kinds of folks. We've got bachelors over here on our right, and we've got a Hispanic family, like him and his brother and their family to our left, and some Asian folks across the way, and there's some other white people over there, and there's like a black family behind us that just had a cookout, and they have a trampoline. We're not super excited about the trampoline. I'll be honest.
Not thrilled.
All right. This is digressed. So we have an Emily, we have a Karen, two Karens that have been thrown. So we have to ask the question if anyone actually got it correct. We have guesses of Rich Benjamin, Benjamin something, and that's it. So did anyone get it correct?
Yes.
Is it Benjamin something?
I am going to give a point for that because I'm feeling generous.
All right. So Rich Benjamin.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Danny gets 2 points. A point for Melissa for at least getting the last name, even though it really should have been something Benjamin rather than Benjamin
Whatever.
something. Benjamin Buttons.
Fascinating TED Talk. I saw the TED Talk. I really want to read the book. You all should look into the book.
Mm-hmm. Of what? Oh, this
book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it sounded like you're gonna say something else, like really interesting TED Talk. Go check it out. It's like, which one? What?
No, the Rich Benjamin one.
All right, Rich Benjamin TED Talk. TED Talk. Go check it out. Emily and Craig both lose a point for throwing a Karen.
Sorry.
Craig says didn't mean to tag her. Stupid Facebook.
Oops.
Well, I'm sure she appreciated it.
She probably just knows you miss her.
I am one then.
I said, am I one then? So I don't think that you're saying I want to go live in nature so I can not be near ethnic minorities. I think you're just saying I want to be like alone in nature. I think that's different.
So the septic, that's the way you determine it, right? Think about this is an internal thing. We can't judge you on this, right? But if you are like, man, I'd like to go to nature because I sure want to get away from all of those minorities, then you might want to like turn inward and try and figure out why that is, right? What is that thing? What makes you uncomfortable about them? It's okay that you're uncomfortable, but it's not okay to not confront that, right? That's the whole trick. We all have flaws and terrible things about ourselves, but if we don't actively try to improve on those, then that's what makes us bad people, right? Is being like, I'm okay with the fact that I don't like minorities because they make me uncomfortable. What you need to do, if that is the case, is say, that's weird, and understand that's not a thing that is normal, right? Normal people don't feel the need to get away from minorities. That's not a normal thing. So find out why you feel that way. And maybe it's worth sitting down with some folks and making some new friends and like getting to know people who aren't like you. And you'll start to realize, oh, wow, I have a ton in common with them. And I was uncomfortable because I didn't understand that culture or something. And now I do. And it's like, cool. So that's really the way you look at it. Now, if the opposite is I love going into nature and none of my minority friends want to join me in nature, okay, I mean, that's fine. Right? No big deal there. Like, if you want to go be a farmer, that's all right. Are some farmers racist? Sure, probably some farmers are racist. That seems perfectly like something that I would...
seems statistically likely.
Yeah, seems statistically likely. You're not racist for wanting to be a farmer, and that's the thing you're passionate about. But if you're like, I don't like minorities, and so the best opportunity for me is being a farmer, that's the opposite.
I wish you lived here, Septic, because we have 40 acres of land in West Virginia that we like to go out to.
It's
That'd
fun.
be cool to have you on our land.
If you ever make it out to the U.S.,
hit us up.
Yeah.
We'll take you on a tour of our ridiculous land.
That'd be good. It's just like open air. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all.
But if you move to a place because you're like, oh, wow, look at that. That town has hardly any minorities in it. That sounds lovely. Then
you might want to think about where you are in life.
Yeah, you need to turn inward a little
but
bit.
But it seems like that's not where you are, Septic, which is lovely. Okay.
Damn it, I hate it when I don't wait until after Danny answers to Karen.
Oops.
You technically did. I guess maybe you didn't see it. It says it was like 18 seconds after, but it may have not caught on. Oh yeah, because you're only seeing it through the stream. Yeah, so you wouldn't have seen it yet. Now I understand. Let's see. Depressed Lizard. I'm a proud Muslim. But you said, are you actually Muslim?
Yeah.
Is that
Muslim?
All right, cool. I wasn't sure because you're like laughing, so I wasn't sure.
No, he's laughing at what Danny said above.
Oh, okay.
She's a ministry student, but then she spends the rest of her time drinking and playing trivia and listening to Keith and feeling educated.
Yeah, there we go. So there you go. We have a proud Muslim, which is awesome. I think that's great. Ramadan is tough. He misses Ramadan, but that is it. Like that seems so hard to me.
It's very spiritually fulfilling now.
I can imagine that, but man, not eating for like the entire month,
Except for after dark.
right? Like every day. That's what I'm saying. Like each day,
I think
you're
it's
not
amazing.
eating anything. Yeah.
I think it's an incredible thing to show your dedication to your religion in that way.
Although I believe that white people have now appropriated it, and we just call it intermittent fasting.
Yeah, right. White people have totally appropriated fasting.
We're like, oh, it's a great way to lose weight. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking white people.
Let's-
Okay. Next question. Oh, okay. Here's your closest question. Septic. This one's going out to Septic.
Oh, Dan's here, by the way.
Hi, Dan Wolf.
Hello, Dan Wolf. He says spiritually fulfilling, but appetite-wise, less so.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
In what year did Charleston, Mississippi, the town where Morgan Freeman lives, have its first integrated prom?
This is a closest, right? We're going to do
This is the closest question.
because it's going to be a little tricky. So closest one, that means if the answer was, let's say, 1956, right? And nobody guessed 1956. Anyone who guessed 1957 or anyone that guessed 1955 would get a point. So we're looking for closest, not closest without going over. So, all right. So 60 seconds on the clock. We are at 7:37 and on question number 4, just so you know. That is where
We
we're
need
at.
to get a little less ranty and a little more questiony.
This is going to be the long edition, the Saturday extra edition of Another Wasted Hour trivia. All right. 40 seconds left. Dan says, I was going to say 69. You can still say 69, Dan, because anybody who, like, if both of you get it correct, you both still get points. So just something to think about. You don't have to have it different.
Our
than that.
answers right now range from 1967 to 2010.
There you go. All right, cool. Melissa says, I like it when you guys are extra. Well, you're in luck because I've been gaining weight.
Boy, howdy, have we been gaining weight.
I had somebody who said that going to the supermarket was a matter of life and death. There was this argument. I'll talk about it after.
Okay.
We'll do it in the next question. This is when sometimes I don't. I have people on the left and people on the right on my Facebook feed, and I disagree with both of them fairly often. But yeah, so this is one of those times where I leaned into some people that were being a little hyperbolic on the left. I felt like, but so time's up. Let's go to the chat here and see. So yeah, we've got the lowest one looks like 1967. Dan Wolf is on the lowest end of it. It seems like we do have an opportunity. Nico's back. Nico's back.
Yay, Nico.
We've missed Nico as well.
Hi, Nico.
We have so many people back who we haven't seen in a while. This is so great.
Oh, we just lost someone.
Oh, no, we've lost someone. That's what I get for saying that.
It's probably Nico. It's probably you yelled at Nico, and Nico was like, I'm going.
She didn't even hear it yet. There's a delay. So, all right. And then it goes all the way to 2010 with Melissa. It says 2010. Nobody threw a Karen. That is an option here. Remember, Karen means that you don't think anybody's going to get it exactly correct. So unfortunately, so we have to find out, did anyone get it exactly correct?
Yes.
Someone got it exactly correct?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. So let's go from the top down. Probably 1969, right? No. Oh, was it 1967?
No.
Was it 1984?
That's the year I was born. No.
Yeah, no. Was it 2010?
No.
Was it 1976?
No.
Was it 2008?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So in 1997, Morgan Freeman offered to personally fund an integrated prom, and he was turned down. He offered again in 2007, and they took him up on it, and they finally had that integrated prom in 2008. There's a documentary about it. It's called Prom Night in Mississippi.
Prom Night in Mississippi. I found out there was another one. A high school in Georgia had their first integrated prom in 2013.
Yeah.
Now there is a little bit of story to that, and that is that the school itself never actually had a prom. So the community put on the proms. But for 40 years, the community had separate proms, a black prom and a white prom. And it took the actual kids to throw a prom in 2013 that was integrated.
Yeah.
That was, nobody thought to do that.
In most cases, when there were segregated proms, anyone could go to the black prom, but only white kids could go to the white prom.
There you go.
Just what in the hell?
what in the literal fuck, right? See, these are the things that we're trying to let people know about, is because we think that like there was a point in time where things were really bad and then things got better, and then and now there's just little blips on the radar. But what it is that I would still argue, some people have said that it's worse. I don't think it's worse, but I think that the progress that we've made over 150 years doesn't equal 150 years worth of progress. I think it's much less than that.
I think a lot of people build echo chambers around themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said yesterday, like, you think just because you are not taking overtly racist actions and using overtly racist words means that like nobody is, and that's not true.
Yeah.
People look at their immediate environment and think that that represents the entire world, and it just doesn't.
And it's happened to us. Look, we're not good either, right? Like we're doing a show here about it because we want to try and we're just trying to like do better. But we also so we bought the 40 acres of land we just talked about, right? And there were a lot of jokes that went around like, oh, you got 40 acres, did you also get a mule and stuff like that? And we kind of played along with it because it was a piece of history that, we were taught and stuff. But when you step back and think about it, it was actually really like insensitive of us to like continue that trope, right? And so today we talked about it. Caitlin was like, that shouldn't be a thing anymore. And I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
We're not going to do that on our land anymore.
Yeah. And so when we talk about our 40 acres of land, if you're going to say and a mule, then we are probably going to be like, I don't think that we should refer to it that way. That seems like a really sad time in history that we shouldn't make light of, right? And so yeah, there are ways that we can all improve. We're like, that's us admitting that we had our own moments that aren't, we're not proud of. But I think the important thing is to confront those moments and, accept those, and you can apologize about them. We are sorry that we weren't sensitive about that because it wasn't the right way to go. And now we've recognized that. Luckily we did it on our own. We didn't need somebody to kind of point it out to us, but if somebody had, I think it would have stopped sooner. I don't think we did it a ton, but any bit of it is kind of just allowing it to live on. All right, so let's see. Craig said, looked up the answer. Holy fuck. Yeah.
So yeah, again, the documentary is called Prom Night in Mississippi. I did not do my due diligence and look up where you can watch it. Best guess is it might be available on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I would like to watch that movie though.
Let's see. How is that a thing this soon in the modern day? What? Yeah, I mean, it's something. I think the problem is, Septic, that people do what they're used to doing, right? That unless something changes, it's like, well, why do you have separate proms? Well, we've always had separate proms. Well,
thanks, Nico.
And
It's called you Nicole.
and so it's super easy for us on either side, people who are oppressed and people who are the oppressors, to be like, but that's the way things have always been done. Like, you end up actually distancing yourself from the actual like act of oppression itself, and just following what your dad did or following what your grandfather did, or think about how people referred to each other, right? Terms. There was a whole court case about Paula Deen, and they asked if she ever used the N-word, and she was like, of course I did. Like, I grew up in the 40s and in the South. So yeah, that's how that worked. And when Paula Deen was a kid, she didn't come out inherently racist, right? She didn't pop out and be like, you know what I think should happen? We should be shitty to people. But what happens is that you have parents who teach you, like, these are our customs and this is what we do. And sometimes that's being a vegetarian. And sometimes it's not eating during the day for a month. And sometimes it's treating races in really inappropriate ways. But it's not inappropriate when everyone does it until you look at it from the outside. And so that's why people need to be able to step in and say, like, the things that are happening are not right. And you don't need to accept that. And you need to stop doing those things. That's my
Danny wants to know why we bought 40 acres of land. Because we felt like it.
Yeah, it's just it's like Minecraft in real life. You just get to do whatever you want. It's fun.
I texted my dad. This is the other thing about my dad. Sometimes when you text him, he responds by calling you on the telephone. So I texted my dad and said I just put in an offer on 40 acres of land. So he called me and said, "What are you going to do with 40 acres of land?" And I said, "Anything I damn want." And that's what we've done.
Yeah. We built a composting outhouse and things like that.
I built a compost bin.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not to microaggress. Can you imagine how awkward it is dancing at the white prom?
I mean,
it just definitely...
Stereotypes sometimes exist for a reason, and white people dance awkwardly.
Yeah, there was probably like 3 of them that were like, look at them. Let them do it. They're very good.
Yeah.
They're on the
Let
dance
Billy
team.
dance. Go, Billy, go.
But I like Craig said, so they pulled a footloose. That's essentially what it was. Like a racial equality footloose. Right? There was like, we're gonna have one all together. But yeah, so there you go. There's a bunch of other things. I'm gonna skip over and move to question number 5.
Question number 5. What African-American writer and historian lobbied extensively to create Black History Month? Whose idea was that?
60 seconds on the clock.
Really, I think Saturday and Sunday are going to be less about anyone getting anything right and more about, like, here's a cool thing I found out. You should go Google it.
Right. You're not going to win this one, probably, but you should know about it. We're just going to... what it is you need to all know that there's going to be a quiz on this in February.
Yeah.
We're going to do... If we're still around... We're going to do this again. We do it again when another innocent unarmed black man gets murdered by police, and then we just...
So, like, just Tuesday.
Same questions. All right, so we've got some answers coming in. We've got 15 seconds left on the clock. Bubbles, everyone in their own bubble, says Melissa. That's fair. The UK was terrible as well. They did a bunch of bad things too. Emily is saying that basically the country was built off of slave labor and stuff like that. And that's true. It's interesting because it moved from there too, I feel like. So we went to the chat because time's up. Once they abolished slavery, then they went to like child labor, and then they murdered people for being in unions. They used other minorities. And now what we're doing is we're just shipping all the work overseas because they're cheaper. And so yeah, we're really good at trying to get people to do work for us for cheap or nothing. And being willing to sell our morality for it. Let's see. This is why people need to have serious conversations about reparations. I believe it is HR 40 that would open up that study. HR 40. Okay, interesting. That would be House Rule 40 or House. Is that a proposition from the House, HR 40? All right. So answers. We've got answers in. Woodson, can't remember first name. Carter Woodson. W.B. Dubois. Carter B. Woodson. Thomas Marvello Riddle. Karen Woodson says, Nico, believes that nobody will be able to get the first name, but believes the last name is Woodson. I've never seen anybody combine the Karen.
I'm into it.
Let's see. I laughed out loud when you said so like Tuesday, but it's really sad in a diversive way. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Proposition from the House. Okay, yeah. All right. So did anyone get that correct?
Yes.
What is the correct answer?
It's Carter B. Woodson.
Carter B. Woodson. We have a Carter Woodson. Is that going to count?
Or Carter G. Woodson, in point of fact.
Oh, Carter G. Woodson. Are we going to take Carter B. Woodson?
Yeah. Oh, it's actually pronounced Du Bois.
Du Bois? Oh.
Not Dubois.
Not Du Bois? Du Bois. All right. I always think I'm French, and so I think I just apply French to things.
You just French it up.
Yeah, whenever I see things that look kind of French, I'm like, that's probably French. Du Bois. Okay. So like Boise.
Like Boise.
Yeah. It's actually pronounced Woodson, apparently. Rather than what? What?
Rather than with an O.
Woodson? Woodson? Is that Woodson? All right. Anyhow. All right. So do you get points for Danny and Emily then? Is that? How about Nico? Karen Woodson.
He said rather than Du Bois. It's actually pronounced Woodson.
No, it's not.
Okay, so the people getting points are Melissa, Danny, Emily, and I'll give Nico a point because that is funny.
All right. Why not? All right, so we have officially made it halfway through the show in an hour.
Yay!
I do. Nico, it's just
he
a
totally
thing.
Frenches it up.
That's the thing. Renita's here.
Hey, Renita.
Hey, everybody. Renita is our winner from last week, so congratulate her. We have to send her a T-shirt. All right, so what are our points?
We have Craig dead even 0 points, Nico with 1 point, Emily with 2 points, Melissa with 4 points, and Danny with 11 points.
All right, those are the way
What
it's
the
going.
hell did I just do?
What did you do? What did you do?
I just deleted the whole column.
Undo.
No, I added. I inserted a column.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's see. I know it's Carter G too because I worked at a school named that. Oh, Emily. Dan, I would like to point out he has 0.
Noted.
0 points.
Noted. Thank you, Dan.
We have
for
written
your
that down.
honesty.
All right. So let's go to question number 6. Can we get through the next 5 questions in 7 minutes?
Totally gonna.
Septic says he has 0 as well. All right, question number 6.
Septic also has 0 points. Noted.
Yes.
What scale is a measure of the manifestation of prejudice in a society and has the stages anti-locution, avoidance, discrimination, physical attack, and extermination?
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. What would be anti-location?
Anti-locution. Oh, I did. Hang on. There's the article on this is very interesting.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like removing yourself from the location of someone or something.
Kind of like a whitopia.
That's what I'm saying.
Anti-locution occurs when an in-group freely purports negative images of an out-group.
Oh,
Hate
okay.
speech is included in this stage. Although anti-locution itself may not be harmful, it could set the stage for more severe outlets for prejudice. See also ethnic joke.
Gotcha. Okay. So avoidance would be the whitopia concept then. That's where that would be.
I think Craig just had a stroke.
Why?
Craig, do you want to try that again?
That is, you just put every vowel in a word and then just put scale behind it.
Oh, he just did that's the initials of what I said.
Oh. That's I see. All right. All right, time's up. Let's go to the chat.
Septic says Danny didn't answer. That's a hard Karen right there.
That's She got into a more comfy chair. She might have fallen asleep
She
or
might be
something.
napping.
No, she's in there. She's got an answer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you may have boated this
You may have
one.
totally screwed yourself.
All right, let's see. Time is up on Facebook as well. We've got a bunch of I literally used to call it Carter G and then answered Carter D. I like it.
That's pretty funny.
Dan did it before Danny Dan did it before Danny, but
Septic did it
I see it.
after.
Yeah. That's weird. Okay, so Karen by Dan, AADPAE scale, which is just the first letters of each of the things in that scale, an all-port scale. Septic says Danny didn't answer. That's a hard Karen right there. So I think that's him throwing a Karen, except that Danny did answer. So that's, yeah. Oh. Craig recalibrated there with dots. Okay. All ports scale. Oh, fudge. She did answer, says Dan. All ports, says Melissa. And then Craig is just laughing. Dude, do not Karen on my behalf whether or not I respond immediately. It wasn't even that Danny answered. It was that she answered a little later than he was expecting. He's like, out. I'm done. All right. So what is the correct answer? Well,
Alports.
I guess, did anyone get it correct? So Dan, someone got it correct. That means Dan and Septic, it looks like, lose points. And then what was the correct answer?
Alport scale.
So first person to get that was actually Danny, it looks like. So Danny gets the 2 points, Emily gets a point, and Melissa gets a point. Let's see. Whatever scale it is, it's gained the quarantine 19. What is the quarantine 19?
It's gaining 19 points in pounds in quarantine.
Oh, gotcha. That is definitely the case. I didn't know that was a thing, a quarantine 19. I feel like we've done that.
High five.
Nailed it. We're doing so good.
Okay, question 7. We got 3 minutes.
No problem.
Question 7. Uncle Tom's Cabin is an anti-slavery novel by Harriet Beecher Stowe. What is the novel's alternate name?
I didn't know this one. If you had asked me who had written Uncle Tom's Cabin, I could have done that.
Yeah, but that's an earlier in the week question.
Yeah, I would have gotten that one. Or if you had said, what did Harriet Beecher Stowe write, I could have gotten that. But I didn't know that there was an alternative name to it.
Neither did I until today.
There we go. We've learned something. Septic says, only because you the big guns, Danny. If you're not right, no one is. Danny's saying, Emily, I know. My lack of a response early on is not a good strategy. I think people are begging to differ on that. I'm just saying. Craig says, is it summer reading option 3?
No.
Is that the name of it? No? Okay. All right. 10 seconds left to get your answers in. Let's see. Dude, everyone's talking about gaining the COVID-19, and I've lost 12 pounds. I never thought I'd say that like it's a bad thing. But after already losing 60, I need to not lose any more. I just need a little of whatever you're taking.
Well, she's like stress running, I think.
That's the problem. The stress is not a good way to lose weight.
Read Dan Wolf's answer.
Dan Wolf's answer is Uncle Thomas's Cabin, for the people who aren't friendly with him, I assume.
No.
If you don't know him personally, he goes by Thomas. It's only his family calls him Tom. All right, so we've got a few other answers as well. Life Among the Lowly is the one that it looks like. We have a Life Amongst the Low Key, Auntie Sam's Cabin, and then because it's, oh my God, autocorrect, lowly. You know, Life Among
the Low Key.
On the Low Key. Life on the Low Key. Uncle Tom's Cabin. All right, so let's see. Nobody went with a Karen. What is the correct answer?
It's Life Among the Lonely.
Lowly.
Sorry.
Damn face autocorrect.
My word thoughts have turned against me.
Damn it, mouth autocorrect. Right when I needed to say something, you went and said it differently. All right, question number 8.
Question number 8. Who was the enslaved man whose case went all the way to the Supreme Court when he tried to sue for his own freedom?
All right, here we go. 60 seconds.
Did not win.
Didn't win, huh?
No. He was later...
Weird.
I learned a word today.
Yeah? What did you learn today?
I'm going to look it up in the article again. Because it was an interesting word. Manumitted.
Manumitted. All right, what does manumitted
Or
mean?
affranchisement is the act of an owner freeing his or her slaves.
Oh, okay.
Manumission or affranchisement.
Rather than disfranchised.
He was manumitted by a private arrangement and then died of tuberculosis a year later.
Interesting. I'm definitely jealous. I've only found out that I put on pants like 2 days ago. All right. Time is almost up. Let's go to the chat. Here we go. Let's see. We've got different answers coming in. We'll wait for Facebook to catch up before we close it out. But looks like the most popular answer, Dred Scott. Melissa says, I just remember Dredd. I assume Judge Dredd in that case.
Probably.
Is that the Scott case? Craig also went with Dred Scott. Dan Wolf goes with O.J. Simpson, which is, I feel like, more modern. I feel like that was a more modern. Time is up also over there on Facebook.
Didn't go to the Supreme Court.
It didn't. No.
Judge Ito did a fine job.
What was the correct answer?
Dred Scott.
It is Dred Scott. So we've got 2 points for Danny. Emily gets a point. Does Melissa get a point for Dred?
Yeah.
A point for Melissa. Nico gets a point, even though it's just in the form of a question as if we're doing Jeopardy. And Craig gets a point as well. Question number 9.
Question number 9. What woman...
No! God damn it!
Sorry.
Even on important weeks, when we're talking about very important subjects that we need to pay attention to because they have implications for the future of our country, this is the penultimate question.
Are you done? Stop yelling at me.
All right.
The Supreme Court is like, okay, so you go to like normal court, circuit court perhaps, and you don't like the decision. And so you appeal it to the appeals court, which is the next level up. And then there's a couple layers after that. The Supreme Court is the highest court you can get to in the United States of America. They mostly take on cases that they think have a constitutional implication.
Yeah.
And
I think that's all they can do, actually. Like,
right.
If it doesn't actually have to do with constitutional law, if your thing happens, if you keep going up the ladder, if it doesn't deal with the Constitution, you don't go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. And then when they decide things, that's the law of the land at that point. Like, people can point to that Supreme Court case in lower courts in America and be like, well, the Supreme Court says this, and then the lower court has to go, okay.
Yep. All right, so question...
I went to the Supreme Court.
Did you? Did you know that Dan Wolf actually has a background in law? He's filled in on what the Supreme Court is.
Has sour cream.
Yeah, that's what makes it a Supreme Court. It's the sour cream.
Because it's a taco?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a basic court.
Now, imagining Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a taco for a head.
Yeah, if you
I
want.
met Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia.
Oh yeah, both of them at the same time. Were they playing pickleball?
No, but they did play cards every week.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Antonin Scalia's wife made me a sandwich once.
Mm-hmm.
I was in his house, and I didn't know I was going to be in his house. It was kind of a surprise. It was a weird day.
Yeah, so what Dan Wolf doesn't realize is I believe it's also tomatoes.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, so question number 9.
Question number 9. What woman, born Isabella Baumfree, became one of the first black women to go to court and win a case against a white man? Can you read what Emily wrote?
What? Yeah, sure. 60 seconds on the clock. Get your answers into the chat. A year ago, I was 225 pounds. I'm weighing in at 148, and now I know how my skinny friends used to feel when I told them they needed a burger and a milkshake. I swear that I'm eating. My friends are concerned because I am recovering anorexic, but I have a nutritionist. I'm eating like 2,400 calories a day and a lot of protein. But Caitlin's right. I'm running a whole lot more than I'd like, and I don't really like running I just like beating myself.
Oh my God.
All
I think
right.
she meant like beating her own score.
Yeah.
Because I think I've seen Emily post like, hey, this is a good time on Facebook.
Right. That's a good reason to do it, right? I saw a post where they say exercise isn't a chore that you have to like accomplish. It is a celebration of what your body is able to accomplish. It's like, wow, look what my body can do. Time is up. We're going over to the chat. Let's see. You have a nutritionist. Mine suggests eat 2,100 calories a day and still lose weight. So I get it. Sounds like you're doing the right thing and taking care of yourself. All right, that's good. How much are you running, by the way, Emily?
And are you running outside or on a treadmill? What are you doing?
All right, so time's up on Facebook. So let's see what answers we got. We've got Sojourner Truth, Claire Huxtable. Craig's just going with the all of the sitcom references, it seems like. And those are the only answers, I think. Those are the only two.
Emily answered Sojourner Truth, but after the time is up.
Oh, no! She was busy typing her other stuff. A whole 7 seconds after. Oh, dang it. All right, so Sojourner Truth, is that correct?
Yes.
Danny gets 2 points, and that is the only people that got it in on time, unfortunately. But we have been able to get to the last question in significantly less time than it took us to get to the 5th question.
Go team.
Yay, team. We're so good at this. Running outside about 4 miles a day, 2 to 4 times a week. All right. 10.
You sound like my boss, except my boss actually likes to run, which I don't understand.
Yeah. I always hear about they're like, oh, you got to go try running. It's great. If you run, you get to this like point where you hit this wall where it just
runner's
feels
high.
Yeah, you feels awesome and everything like that. And I'm like, yeah, but I just feel miserable up until that point, and then I never feel that, so it's just terrible.
Nico just awarded Craig 0 Craig coins.
Took away all his Craig coins. Oh no.
Zeroed out his balance.
All right, question number 10 is...
Name the memoir and slave narrative written by Solomon Northup.
There you go, Solomon Northup. 60 seconds on the clock. This is the one that shouldn't be too hard for people to get.
Dan Wolf said he ran at the D1 college. I never got a runner's high. I hated every mile.
Oh, my God.
That sounds terrible, Dan. Did you just do it because you were good at it and you got like a scholarship or something?
Or did you not like yourself?
Maybe you just didn't like yourself.
Did someone hurt you?
Maybe you didn't like your feet.
Yeah, you were like, to
Cedric
hell with my feet.
Loves running. He does not love getting advice from Olympic athletes, but he loves running.
That is true. Loves running badly and then ignoring advice from Olympic runners.
He's like, nah, I got this, bro.
Hold off, Olympic runner. I think I know what I'm doing. All right, about 10 seconds left on the clock. Last question of the night. Don't forget that we will be back here at 7 o'clock tomorrow with the last episode, the season finale. Again, I know that this has been a rough week for everybody. Lots of learning, lots of discomfort, but that's okay. No big deal. We will be back to kind of trivia as usual on Monday. And we've talked to people before about this, but there were less people here. We will go on to a thing where, as we've said before, we start the show when we have double digits. If in episode or in season 11 or 12 or whatever that is, we end up having fewer than that, then we're going to call the show because that's great. That means people are going and doing things other than trivia, and that's perfectly fine. We're here for you when that wasn't available, and now that things are opening up, we will bow out politely. But we wanted to give everybody a heads up on that is the thing we'll be doing.
Will we still consider doing trivia once a week at that point? That was requested earlier.
We'll see. I mean, I think it depends on the turnout on it, right? I think that's the thing that's important. If a bunch of people want to do that, then yeah, we'll definitely do that. But if it's just a handful of people, then we can do that on a Zoom call or something, right? And then we can avoid all the confusion with all the streaming. Yeah, exactly. But just something to think about moving forward. That we're going to finish out tomorrow. Doesn't matter how many people are here, but starting next season, we'll start clocking that to know if we still are needed, because I don't know that we are. And that's okay. All
You're
right.
gonna need us in the second wave, though.
We'll come back. If there's another lockdown, we will be back. Okay. Emily, what you'll do is you'll go have happy hours, and it's going to be awesome. So everybody's going to be good, and Danny is going to go watch 5 episodes of Golden Girls, and everything's going to be fine. Yeah. All right. So.
And we have Zoom tea parties to attend. That's right,
apparently.
Melissa.
And all of you can arrange things too. Like, we don't have to be the conduit to all of this. This can be something, a mantle that everybody else can also pick up and run with. So. Keep in mind, I think the thing that I want to impress upon people, and we appreciate this, right? We really love you all. We think you're awesome, but keep in mind, for all of the days, think about all of the days that something else has come up and you weren't able to be here because of X, right? Which is cool. No problem. You don't offend us in any way. That's great. We've been here, right? And so this is a big thing that's happening in our lives. We have to be here every night. So when we say we're going to go out to the land, we have to be well, don't forget, we have to leave the land by 5:30 in order to, or was it 4:30?
4:30.
To be able to make sure that we're back here by 7, because people are counting on us. And some of you can say I'm not going to go to trivia today. No big deal. But this is a thing that we do. We missed one night.
And I think I had a pretty dope excuse.
Right. We missed one night and somebody filled in for us. And it was because we were in the hospital. So just think about it in those terms. We're not trying to take a thing away from people, but it's a pretty big burden. We're happy to do it.
Super happy to do it.
We would rather do, hang out. We can hang out on Another Wasted Hours Facebook page. We can do all types of things. We can host and post Zoom things. Yeah, absolutely. Nico, if you're not a part of it, Another Wasted Group is a private group that we have that's about the show and things like that. And you can create hangouts there and stuff like that. And absolutely, everybody can connect there. So Emily says, I rotate. I will volunteer as tribute. I can take over. You know what? I'm not going to say no to that. The problem is the amount of infrastructure that goes into streaming. Remember that Alan is first. Alan is first. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitter, or Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And so there's just a lot that goes into that, right? You have to have subscriptions to things. You have to have keys. You have to have pieces. We actually have special software to put the questions up and all those kinds of things. So it may be a different kind of thing, which is absolutely cool. It might change if we're not doing the same numbers that we've had in the past. And so we just want to give people a heads up, because we have said that we'll be here every night at 7:00. And so I think it's important for us to let you know when that won't happen. So question 10, we are already.
I think that we're easing them into it.
Yeah, we're easing you into it.
The answer is 12 years a slave.
12 years a slave.
Or, as Craig said, some number of years a slave.
Many years a slave.
That was a banging movie.
Oh, yeah.
The cast in that movie.
Have you seen that movie,
Remarkable.
people? Go, if you did not see that movie. If you want to go, if you have the need to be able to ugly cry in a theater, go check out 12 Years a Slave. You can do it at home if you want. But it is very, very good. So yeah, check that out. Alan says, pre-guess Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. I believe that there is no Spaceballs 2, Alan. In fact, the sequel to Spaceballs was going to be Spaceballs 3, The Search for Spaceballs 2. I believe that is actually a fact, which is brilliant in my humble opinion. All right, let's see. So people that got that correct, looks like Melissa was the first one with 2 points. Danny got a point. Dan went with Django Unchained. Not a bad guess, but not correct. Nico got it as well. And Danny says, I dislike running. I'll walk the dog, though, regularly, and she'll drag me along. What's really good is if you get a few dogs and then a sled. They're really good at that. Craig says, some numbers a slave. Hold my drink. I got this. Septic.
That's in reference to famous Olympians attempting to help him with running.
Emily says, I I get a runner's high at some points, but at other times I feel like I'm rubbing the inside of my lungs with Brillo pads and that I'm barely able to put one foot in front of the other. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm not good at jogging. That's the problem I have. I can sprint. Like if you want me to sprint, do like a 40, like just go like 40 yards sprint, I can do that. And then I'll need a break, and then I can do it again. And I'm going to need a break.
Breathe for a while.
But like jogging for several miles, my brain is just like, just a thought. What if we were just walking? Because I feel like we could do this pretty similarly. And or it goes, or if we were to sprint, we'd get there faster. And I'm like, well, we can't sprint. It's 3 miles. And they're like, we could sprint and then take a break and then sprint. And that just seems like it'd be more effective. And I'm like, no, brain, we have to jog. And it's like, did you hear me about the walk thing? I think that would also be a really good option. And I'm like, fine, we'll walk. I don't know how to jog.
We should go on more walks.
We can definitely do more walks. All right, so let's see. Danny says I'm in Vermont, Keith, not the Yukon, but there's snow. And there's
all the time.
There's also wheels. So you can put wheels on the sled. Have it go. Let's see. So there's a bunch of stuff that I kind of missed. But let's see. I would like to note that I finished the night 1 under, which is more than I can say for Tiger Woods' last performance. Emily would like to host the show. I got that. Nuance is not her thing. All right, so there we go. I'm the Jack Nicholas of trivia.
Can we do the shares?
Yeah, let's do the shares. You want to do that before you go over?
I do.
Okay.
It's easier. I don't have to sort and then resort.
Craig gets a point. Emily gets a point. That's all the ones I see. I'm going to refresh just in case for some reason it didn't catch up with it. But that's all I'm seeing. Septic, did you host it on over there on the old Twitch?
On the old Twitch.
Yeah. Did any of the Twitch people host the show on the old Twitch? On the Twitches? On the Twitchulator? There's no show right now, Keith.
Snow.
Oh, no snow, Keith. There might be snow in the mountains. See, this is why you should probably walk your dogs in the mountains.
It would be scenic.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, a lot of people who run races do the same because I beat a lot of people in my last race.
But I didn't, so no.
I did.
Okay.
All right. That's fair.
No points for you then.
I tried, but it didn't work. By the way, Nico says Zoom and Jackbox games, by the way. Somebody had mentioned that before. Jackbox is like a video game you can buy, and it's like trivia and things like that and whatever.
Oh. Septic would really like his negative 1 point.
All right, so there we go. That is the show. Who won?
Danny won.
Danny won. Congratulations, Danny. Your acceptance speech in the chat. And what color would you like the studio tomorrow?
And Septic or Dan Wolf, since you both have negative 1 point, if you would like to make a loser's speech,
yeah, that
would be fine.
Maybe you could work on it together.
Ooh.
You could have a collaboration. Yeah, this would be great. Let's see. I'm down for Zoom and Jackbox. I'm down for anything where I get to hang out with you all. Oh, well, thank you. That is very kind of you to say. Let's see. Only one person needs to have it. And I do, says Nico.
Somebody's volunteering as tribute.
And I do!
That's a song.
All right, so that's it. That's the show. We are here at 7:00 every night until we're not. As we have said, once the numbers drop below the double digits, we know that it'll be time for us to go our merry way. And maybe we might start looking at this and seeing if people are double dipping, because I know that some people are watching on Twitch and answering on Facebook kind of thing. And so we may actually have lower numbers. Right now we have 9. But
well, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who got points or negative points.
Yeah, so there might be 7 people, and then it counts, I think, me on Facebook hanging out and also me on Twitch. So that might explain the 7. So there you go. That is something. I also have a podcast called Another Wasted Hour. You can go check that out. Just search for Another Wasted Hour.
I love where this is going.
Specifically of anywhere that that podcasts are sold, which is a funny thing to say because podcasts are free. At least ours are. So just search for Another Wasted Hour in any of those places. Subscribe, download them, listen to them, give us a review and some stars. We would appreciate it. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to this, the thing that you're following now. Set your, make sure that you put on your notifications. And then also that we're on all of your different social medias as well. So Facebook, you can like us at Another Wasted Hour. Instagram, Another Wasted Hour. Twitch, it's A Wasted Hour. Another Wasted Hour is too long, apparently. We have another Wasted group on Facebook where we all get together to chat about things. So you can join there as well. And it sounds like if this trivia thing stops happening, there's a decent chance that people are going to shoot up some other events that are going to happen in the Another Wasted Hour group, the Another Wasted group. So go check that out. All right. Do you want to give us some speeches?
I'm going to let the Dan Wolf and Septic one cook for another minute.
Okay, that seems like a good idea.
Danny says, keep the lights off, and I appreciate you guys still doing this. And I am now slightly worried that people are betting on me with Karens, which is both an honor and kind of like high pressure.
Well, this is what you've done. You've made yourself a good resource. Here's the good news, Danny, is it's not new. Before, people were just stealing your answers. We just happen to have gotten to a point where you don't have as many answers, and so now they're trying to hedge bets on it with Karens. All right. Well, congratulations, Danny, and for everybody else who's hung around and learned some things. Even if you didn't get the correct answers, that's perfectly fine. Hopefully, this has made you a little bit better of a person and give you a little bit more perspective on the world that we are in and how we can make it better. Let's see. Do we have our
Here we go.
things? Yeah, you've got it.
We, Septic Scope and Dan Wolf Music, being of sound mind and body,
Yeah.
are disappointed at humanity, but mostly in ourselves.
Yes.
Because we have been living with severe infections, which are both embarrassing and totally preventable. And we should do our utmost as humanity to do better. But having been murdered at trivia, do leave all of your possessions to... We do leave all of our possessions to...
It's ending.
Here's the last one.
This is actually really going well.
Like a drum
It
roll.
is, yeah. This is the exquisite corpse of Another Wasted Hour trivia.
This is really good.
We may have to do this more
This
often.
is a great idea, Dan Wolf.
All right, who is it? Septic's finishing
oh my
it
God,
up.
who's getting all their possessions?
Who's getting all the possessions? We need to know. Oh my God, we're just waiting on it.
Thomas Marvello Riddle!
Oh, I knew it.
Oh, you bastards.
Bastards. All right, the studio will be dark again tomorrow. So until 7 o'clock tomorrow, everybody, please stay safe. If you're out there protesting, make sure that you have your head on a swivel. Make sure that you're not being hit by tear gas or anything like that. If you see other people doing stupid things, please stop them. There's important things that we need to be protesting, and we don't need the distraction of things being burnt and broken and people getting hurt. Those are all bad things. 99.9% of the people get it, and other people are angry and upset and sad and need to act out. We understand that. We understand why, right? We get that, but try to not do it, and let's try to make this movement huge and peaceful. And yeah.
Septic and depressed lizard, be careful out there.
Yep, and stay healthy. You know what? I'm not even going to stay home anymore. It seems like most of the quarantine stuff has lapsed. It seems like you can actually go out now these days. But do be careful while you're out there. But use your masks. Don't touch your faces. Do all the things that are going to keep you healthy while you're out and about. And especially while you're in big groups doing those things. Again, I don't want it to be overshadowed. All the folks that had sacrificed so much and had to go to work to make the world go round while we were all in quarantine. Thank you so much. I know that there are a lot of other things right now that are taking the light from that, but we still recognize that sacrifice that you made, and we really appreciate it. And now we're moving on. That's what made it possible for people to now start trying to make the world a better place, is because you kept us safe during that time. Now we're trying to keep folks safe in this time. Let's see. What else? Anything?
And wash your damn hands. Love, Nico.
Wash your damn hands. And your butts. Wash your butts, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Jesus. Can everybody just wash your butts all the time? I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't.
Not
Is that
all the time?
No? Okay. I feel like you should. Keep your butts clean. I think that's it. So we'll see you all tomorrow at 7:00 for the ultimate episode, the conclusion to this particular series, to this season. We'll start a new.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Dan Wolf, I mean, 24/7, 365. You should not be in the process of washing your butt.
Yeah. You can't wash your butt while you're pooping.
You should not skip days of washing your butt.
Because then the poop would get everywhere. But when you're not actively pooping, you want to make sure you wash it all the time other than that. Right? Is that what you meant?
This is a message for you from a colon cancer survivor who keeps her butt clean.
All right. So we've gone a really weird direction on all of this. We'll be ending the season tomorrow. Again, just shout out to everybody. We will we'll judge it from there as to how many people are out, as to how much longer we keep this up. But we'll definitely announce things in the on all of social media when we end up closing shop. I think that's it. So good night, everybody.
Night.